Welcome to On Thick Ice, a podcast about navigating relationship intricacies by two people who are just trying to make one work. I'm Emily.
And I'm John. Each week, we'll be tackling the pressing issues we all face in our relationships but rarely address head on.
All right, so you've eaten all the Ben & Jerry's. You've watched The Way We Were. You've gotten wine drunk and kept your neighbors awake at 3 a.m. with your screaming rendition of All Too Well, Taylor's 10-minute version, of course. You've gained, lost, and gained 5 pounds. You're over the breakup. You want them back. Is it ever a good idea to get back with your ex? Where would you even start? Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. That was like sexy time voice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wah, wah, wah. That's not the sex song. What is it? Bow chicka wow wow.
Yeah. It wasn't.
I said wah wah.
Nope. That is not sexy time.
So getting back together with your ex, I mean, it's a tricky situation. There's lots of things that go into it. But if you're thinking about getting back together with an ex, I think the first thing you have to ask yourself is, why do you want to get back together? So, I mean, there are some good reasons, I think, good enough reasons to get back together with an ex. I don't know. Have you ever gotten back together with an ex?
You know, I was thinking about this, and I mean, most of my relationships that were actual relationships were very long. And there really was, I mean, I've only had one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. I was broken up, but for like an hour.
Right.
So I never really had this experience. So this is coming from the internet, not from personal experience.
Boom.
So according to the internet, there are 5 good reasons to get back with your ex. Or good enough, anyway. Okay?
Okay.
So the first one is your timing was off. Maybe someone wasn't ready, like maybe they had just gotten out of a relationship and you ended up being like the rebound that they didn't intend to turn into a relationship. Maybe they needed time to like heal or work on themselves. Maybe it was their job. They just got a promotion. They have to focus on work. But by the time you approach a reconciliation, you or them have worked through whatever it was and now you're ready for a relationship. So I guess as long as you work through it and you both want to do it, that's good enough.
Or wait until one graduates high school? No?
No.
Oh, okay. My bad. But
No.
yeah. It does sound like a Hallmark movie almost. However,
Right.
you know, they were tragically split by their evil parents when they had fallen in love in middle school. 20 years later, they came across paths and realized they never fell out of love. They are now having it all again. Oh, wait. What about Flo and John Hamm? The struggling actor who didn't know he could save car money with car insurance. And then one day he just randomly ran back into Flo.
I think Progressive is going to sue you. Flo is proprietary.
I am using names and I never used Progressive. So they're going to sue you, actually.
Okay, fair enough.
Now both of us.
Oh, fuck. Reason number 2. This is kind of the same to me. I don't know. You were emotionally distracted when you met. So again, maybe you're not over your ex. Maybe you're dealing with grief. Nobody did anything wrong. You just weren't ready, but now you are. Kind of the same as the last one. Just like it's a timing thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, being emotionally distracted, that there's also children running around like hyenas. That would be something that would, you know, yeah. So on that note, I'm out, bruh. See you when they grow up.
Okay. Number 3, the breakup gave you a new perspective.
Yes, the classic I'm having less sexy time, so we should get back together perspective. High five. High five.
We're going to address the post-breakup horniness later, okay?
Oh, that's not what you meant?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm sick of my hand. I need to feel the touch of another human.
Sexy time.
But no, I mean, like maybe you thought you wanted to be single or like the person wasn't the one for you. But once you have some distance, you realize that they actually add value to your life and you do actually want to be with them. As my Lord and Savior Taylor Swift says in Back to December, it turns out freedom ain't nothing but missing you. Wishing I realized what I had when you were mine. And I go back to December all the time. I'm definitely getting sued.
I was really just trying to think of something to say about that, but
You got nothing?
nope.
Okay.
Not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole.
All right, next, your priorities were off. So this said you're confusing your wants and your needs. You break up to pursue what you think you want. Maybe you want someone who's hotter or with a different job, but you realize that your ex was providing you with what you need, like love and support, etc. That one, the you that we're talking about here, you kind of come off like a douchebag. It's like, I wanted someone hotter, but it's not working out for me, so I'm just gonna go back to this old piece of shit who loves me. But no, I don't really like that, but you know, who am I to tell the internet that they're wrong?
It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that you're the devil in this situation.
Me?
No, not you, the proverbial you.
Oh,
I mean, maybe you.
I'm not.
And finally, you were on a strict timeline, like marriage, house, babies. Your ex wasn't on the same wavelength. But after you break up, you realize that your timeline isn't as important to you as the person was.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not sure I would get back with that person.
yeah.
Sounds a little one-sided to me a little bit. Like, you know, it's never going to work if we're not married in 7.5 months, buy a house in 1 year, baby in 1 year and 1 day. You in?
Some people are like that, and it takes them some distance to get out of their head and away from their plan.
Well, I guess the way that I look at this is if they were so they took such a drastic move to break up with somebody because you weren't meeting their expectations.
Or maybe they were the one that was broken up with.
Maybe, but I mean, I'm just talking about the person who breaks up with you
Mhm.
because you're not meeting their timelines.
Right.
If you get back together, there's going to be another timeline that you're going to have to meet. And do you really want to get in that?
Right. Yeah, but I think the underlying thread in all of these is that whatever the reason was, you have to do the work to fix it, basically, whether that's within yourself or whatever. So in that case, the person with the timeline would have to shed themselves of that need.
Yeah.
In order to make it work, you know?
Yeah, I'm just thinking from the other perspective. Like,
Yeah.
you know, would I really want to get back with somebody who dumped me because I didn't want to have a kid next year?
I don't want to get back together with anybody who has a
No.
kid.
How many people did you have to try before you decided, okay, maybe I'll just go back to that? This 1 year thing isn't working out. I don't know.
People are serious about their timelines. I don't know.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean, especially when you got a biological clock ticking away in you. Thankfully, I squashed mine like a bug.
Word.
So yeah, basically, the underlying thread, you do the work. You realize after you break up that the person added value to your life and their existence is more important to you than the reason for the breakup. That is, according to the internet, a good enough reason to pursue a reconciliation. And then we get to the fun part. The reasons not to get back together with your ex. This is where I succeed. I'm at my core, I'm a hater. I I don't want anybody to get back with their toxic ex. I just want to hate on them forever. So number 1, again, these are according to the internet. These are not necessarily my personal opinions, but that does not mean I do not agree with them. If you are settling, they're not providing you with everything or anything of what you need, but you don't want to be alone. Don't do it.
Yeah. Well, what if the expectations are just too high?
What do you mean?
That's a whole nother story. So I found this little story that I would like to share with you.
Oh God.
Yes. It's very funny, and it was written towards the woman perspective, but I made everything right and happy in the world. So let's get into it. So the story was titled "Forget Mr. Right and Settle for Mr. Good Enough."
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to start the story now.
Mhm.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's get our listening ears on. Woohoo. A new store has opened,
Mhm.
a partner store. There's
Ooh.
a sign at the entrance. It says, "You may visit the partner store only once. There are 6 floors, and the value of the products increase on each successive floor. The shopper can choose any item from a particular floor or go up to shop on the next floor, but you cannot go back down except to exit the building. So a person goes into the store. On the first floor, the sign on the door reads, "Partners who have good jobs."
Okay.
Person says, "That's nice," they think, "but I want more." So they continue upwards where the sign reads, "Partners who have good jobs and love kids."
Ugh.
They're intrigued, but continues to the third floor where the sign reads, "Partners who have good jobs, love kids, and are extremely attractive." Wow, they think, but feel compelled to keep going. So on to floor 4. Partners who have good jobs, love kids, are extremely attractive, and help equally with adult responsibilities.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Unload the dishwasher. That's sexy as fuck.
Right. So it can't get better than this, right?
Mhm.
They exclaim. But then a voice inside their head asks, or can it?
Mhm.
They decide to continue up and read the sign, floor 5. Partners who have good jobs, love kids, are extremely attractive, help equally with adult responsibilities, and have a great sense of humor. Having found what they're looking for, they're tempted to stay, but something propels them to the 6th floor, where the sign reads, "You are visitor 42,215,602 to this floor. There are no partners on this floor. This floor only exists to prove that people are impossible to please. Thank you for shopping at the partner store. Goodbye."
That
So
sucks.
I ask again, are the expectations too high?
I mean, I think people's expectations can be too high, but there's also something to be said for settling, you know?
Yes, but what is settling? Is settling the fact that you didn't have that entire package that I just spoke of?
No. That's being too picky.
Well, there's a fine line there and a big gray area.
Settling to me is like porn. You can't really define it, but you know it when you see it. You know?
No,
No. Like,
I do not know what this is porn.
okay. I'm sure you don't.
No.
There's just, I mean, I totally, I get what you're saying, and there's definitely something to be said for that, but there's also, it's very clear when someone is settling because it's not that the person doesn't have everything that they want, it's mostly that they don't have anything that they want. Especially when there's kids involved, a lot of the times the one thing that a man might have that the woman wants, the only thing, is working sperm. She just wants to have a baby, and then she marries the guy who impregnates her, you know?
I was just highlighting that settling can mean multiple things.
It can.
And people's expectations can sometimes cloud the perception of reality. That's all I was trying to say.
I get it.
Yes.
Number 2. Some things don't change. So, chances are the crappy parts of your relationship aren't going to get better just because you got back together unless you've both done the work. You kind of threw that in my face earlier. It could just not go away. Whatever it was that caused you to break up in the first place, it's likely still going to be there because people are people and we don't like to change ourselves.
No, it's not a matter of even liking to change. It's just not knowing. Like it's a lot of work to change big things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no question. But at the same time, I mean, you nailed it. If you think something's going to change
Mhm.
that drastically,
Yeah.
without even mentioning it, then yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Number 3 is kind of sad, but I mean, it happens. Emotional abuse. And this might not be something that you know is going to happen until after you've gotten back together if it didn't already exist. Your ex, when you get back together, they might realize now that they can just treat you like shit because they know that you're willing to come back to them.
Yeah, and you know, it's not only that, but if there's any wrongdoing in the situation, it's very hard to not bring that up,
Right.
To win arguments,
Right.
in the reconciled,
Mhm.
you know, relationship. So yeah, that's tough.
Another reason not to do it, you're already in the breakup cycle. Like you're on a sitcom, you're Ted and Robin. You break up, you get back together. You rinse and repeat. Break the cycle. Just stop. It's not going to get better. If you're already in this, you're never going to stop breaking up. So just cut it off.
Yeah, for this, I think there needs to be a rule, something like, you know, third time's a charm, but about shit. Right?
Yes.
So like something catchy. If you've been dumped more than 3 times, you can always call me at 1-800-IT'S-OVER.
Oh, this is like number 4 copyright infringement for this episode already.
Hey, no, that's mine. I made that up.
Okay. All right. Another reason not to do it, the obvious one, it could just be bad for your mental health. Like if they're begging you to give them a chance and you still love them, but the act of getting back together or dealing with them, asking is a drain on your mental health. Like it can be tempting to give in to the begging or the nagging or whatever it may be just to get them off your back. But in the long run, if them annoying you to get back together is driving you insane, the relationship is going to drive you insane. So you gotta be selfish when it comes to your mental health. You just got to.
Yeah, I mean, and this is not only bad for mental health, but overall attractiveness. I mean,
Right.
honestly, like
Yeah.
nobody wants to get back with the pathetic version of what they already broke up with.
Exactly.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah. And finally, you broke up for a reason. And whatever that reason is, if the issues are unresolved, they're going to come back. If one or both of you is not willing to work to resolve those issues, it's going to be a bad time.
Well, speaking of bad times, so now that we've discussed why you want to get back together and why you shouldn't, let's explore how.
Okay.
Oh,
God.
yes. So it's time for a little game I like to call How to Trick Your Ex into Getting Back Together with You by Using Sneaky Psychological Tactics.
Woohoo!
How do you like that?
Love that.
So today we have the lovely Emily as our guest. How are you doing, dear? Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yes. So, Emily, let's see if you can guess the 7 tricky tactics to win fabulous prizes.
Okay.
What is your first guess, please? We don't have all day, dear.
I don't know. I don't have a guess.
One sneaky thing that you can do to try to get your ex back.
Buy a gift.
I guess that's one, but it's not on the list.
Damn
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm ready. I finally used the
I'm
button.
going to take that button away from you.
Oh, yeah. It's on my desk. You can't have it. All right. So
Oh, I got to guess again?
there's 7. I said there's 7 tricky tactics.
You said one guess. Okay. Get pregnant.
I said, what is your first guess?
Oh, okay. Get pregnant.
Oh, my God. Where are you taking this?
I don't know.
You're buying people and threatening them with children. Jeez. Okay, well, that is also not on the list.
What the hell?
You take too many pages from The Office.
I'm obviously like an emotional manipulator.
Kelly Kapoor, man. You and her.
Start dating someone else.
Kind of.
Okay.
Okay, so that actually hits 2 points, right?
Okay.
So using jealousy to your advantage.
Mhm.
This one is a little it's fucked up. We'll
Okay.
just say it. So let me mark my spot here. So it's a little thing called the jealousy text.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I think I know what this is, but go ahead.
Yeah. This is one of those things. It's like super like the timing is very important for something like this. This is one of those where you're reaching out to the ex
Mhm.
and you're asking about a place that you two used to frequent.
Okay.
And you're like, hey, what was the name of that place? I really want to take this other person there.
Right. Okay.
And
That's
then
not
you
what I
just
thought it was.
you just leave it there.
Uh-huh.
And then you kind of just like let it fester.
Uh-huh.
And you want to you don't want to be too specific because you want them to assume everything,
Right.
right? It will drive them nuts.
Right.
So the other one is the law of pre-selection,
Okay.
which is also kind of similar to what you meant. So it's basically the fact that we are genetically programmed to like things that other people want.
Yeah.
So if you start to become more wanted
Desired. Yeah.
from others
Uh-huh.
and your ex catches wind of it,
Uh-huh.
then yeah, it's likely that that's going to catch some attention.
Okay. Do I have to keep guessing? Because I'm obviously really bad at this.
You are, I know. And
Just
yeah.
tell me.
All right, we'll do it. All right. So law of pre-selection was number 1.
Mhm.
Number 2 was cause massive amounts of FOMO inside your ex's mind.
Hell yeah.
So for those that don't know what FOMO is, it is the fear of missing out.
Did you not know what FOMO was before you found this?
No,
Oh, okay.
I trade crypto. Of course I know what FOMO is.
Okay.
Jesus. Yes. I live my life in a constant state of FOMO. Okay, come on. It's a weird word to say many times in a row, but so what this is basically showcasing that your life is the best life it possibly can be
Mhm.
using social media.
Yeah.
So make her see how awesome your life has become without her.
Yes.
It's grape. They're going to hate it.
You did it wrong. It's peach.
Damn it. For you Office fans, I'm sorry. Okay, so we already talked about using jealousy to your advantage. Then we have the fourth one, which is just boring.
Okay.
Focus on self-improvement.
Yeah, whatever.
Bora, boring. There's the fifth copyright.
That's 6.
Oh, 6. Okay, got it. So basically, hit the gym. Make yourself feel good about you. And if you think you feel good about you, what are other people going to think?
If you look good, we look good.
Right. Pump you up. Number 5, using reverse psychology. So with this, you would send a message like, I think it's a good thing that we broke up. I think we really needed the time apart. Or like, I think breaking up has allowed me to focus on myself.
Yeah.
I think this will be good for me and for your marriage. No. That last part wasn't really part of it.
Oh, goodness.
So send the message that you moved on. That's basically what this is all about.
Right. Yeah.
Makes them wonder like why your feelings have changed so quickly.
Yeah.
And then the sense of loss can cause them to start chasing you again like a dog on raw meat. That is a quote, by the way. Thank you, Brad, for the very graphic imagery on that one. Very good.
Gross.
I feel like I'm in a little zombie town or something, but beyond that, I'm moving on. So next one, 6, refusing your ex.
Okay.
Learning to say no. Huge one. Do not make yourself too available. Say no. Do not fall into her trap because that's all her, he, whatever.
There.
That's what I wrote, but I instinctively went to my own personal side of this.
Because you hate me.
No, not you. No, never. We didn't break up. I just refuse you because it's fun. No. So number 7, always appear positive and happy. Worst thing you can do is start moping and crying publicly or on social media.
That's true.
Yeah, just try to remember like the last time you read one of those sad breakup posts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that?
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't because I didn't read it. Yeah, that was a hard delete.
I've read them. I've read them all. Listen, if you put it on social media, I've fucking read it. I love being in other people's business. It's so much fun.
All right, well that's you. I mean, what I was gonna say is like, sadly, your friends just don't give a shit.
Oh, I'm not your friend.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the stranger that you don't know why I'm on your friends list, but I'm reading all the fucking comments. You better believe.
Right. I mean, this is the reason that I got rid of Facebook was
Bitches like me.
It's always pity stories, children, and other things that I'm not into. So basically, just keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah.
You look pathetic.
Yep.
And if you think this is going to help you get back with somebody, you got your head up your ass.
Yep.
And honestly, you just blew your shot with all the fine folks at Golden Corral for crying over cold cheese. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Hey, look, that's impressive for some circles, all right?
All right, so you listen to our reasons, you weigh the pros and cons. You want to get back together with your ex. Does it matter how much time has passed? Now, personally, I don't have a lot of experience with this. I've never really done it, so I had to consult the internet, and the internet was not helpful. But basically, it just kind of depends on why you broke up. Like, if you broke up over something stupid, you had a small fight, you storm out of the apartment and whatever, you could probably get back together, hash your shit out real quick and be fine. Like that's a situation where you're probably okay. But like if it's a bigger issue, like different life plans, you're on that timeline, someone cheated, then it's probably going to take a lot longer to deal with those issues and rebuild the trust and all that stuff. So then you get into the kind of like, okay, do I want to rebuild trust with this person before we get back together, or are we just going to get back together and hope that this happens as part of the relationship?
Roll the dice.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it does seem that the interweb, the general consensus is that you should be completely apart for minimally 1 month. And the
Okay.
data seems to support that.
Okay.
But we'll get back to that in a minute.
All right.
I did find an alternative perspective.
Mhm.
This is a man's perspective. So I figured this would be fun for you.
Oh yeah, you know how much I love men.
Yes. Prepare yourself for this one. So this is coming from a professional breakup recovery specialist. I don't think that that's what they're officially called, but that was the cool words that I put together to make it sound fun, right? And yes, they do exist. This is a real thing. I did find some services out there, but it's very one-sided. Mostly men trying to be creepy AF. So,
Which is basically what the internet was built for.
yeah, that and that and I guess creepy AF and porn. So
Same thing.
It is what it is. Okay, so he says that you should not use the no contact rule due to the fact that women can easily just go out and say yes to anything with legs and easily, quote unquote, move past you if you do not show interest. I think that siren was appropriate.
They're
in
coming
this case.
for that guy.
Yes. That was not a sound effect, and if it actually came through, that was the city. So thoughts?
SFPD is not on board with this breakup specialist guy. Okay. One, just fuck this guy, first of all. I will say he's not wrong about the ability to go out and get over the possibility of going out and getting over someone by getting under someone else. It is pretty easy to get laid as a straight or bisexual woman with a man, but in practice, just because you're doing that doesn't mean anything. I mean, without getting too graphic here, I've done that dance, but at the end of the night, you're still sad. So you could physically do it, but that doesn't mean anything. You know?
Yeah. The generalized idea here is that you should keep the line of communication open, because if you don't, then that other person's going to think that you've lost interest in them or that you've moved on, and they have a false sense of where things actually are with the relationship. And that is why he suggests that the no contact rule is a thing. But yes, I found that very interesting and thought you would have words. So
you know I always have words.
Yes. So now that we've covered how to distract your ex from becoming a regular floozy, if that's still a thing.
She's a damn floozy.
Let's get back to the data, right?
Okay.
So what we're looking at here, there was a survey done. I don't know how many people, blah, 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 but how long does it take to get back together successfully, right?
Okay.
This was couples that broke up, got surveyed, or back together and surveyed.
Nothing sexier than a survey.
Right. You know, it's just what it is. So, I mean, I'm ready. You want to go to the bedroom? Mm-hmm. All right. Numbers. So what this really indicates is that between 1 month and 6 months is really where that gap seems to lay. And it's pretty consistent. Like the numbers are pretty even through those time frames. So once you get to about like the 9-month time frame, like that's where things start to kind of taper off a little bit. But from that study, 78% of the participants, the precipitationants, who got their ex back and were still together, said they were happy in the rekindled relationship.
Okay.
60% said the new relationship was worth it. And then 74% of them said that it was better than before.
Okay.
So that's 4% less than those that say they're happy. So it didn't get any better for a lot of these folks, but
yeah,
you know, actually it did get better for a lot of folks. It was just a little piece of it that didn't really do that. So
how many of them do you think are lying? Because they're like, well, I already did it. I got back together with them, so now I have to show face or whatever.
I don't know.
I'm just a hater.
There's a lot of data for this, and I'm sure you could find that, but I'm not going to go through all that.
Yeah, fuck that.
So now here's what's really funny though. I picked this because I thought that this was really stupid earlier when you remember we were talking about improve yourself as one of the tricky things to get your ex back.
Yeah.
Well, apparently that works.
Okay.
So this graph here, I know you guys can't see graph, but
I can't see it either.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, you're missing the numbers. What helps most get back an ex? That was really
What?
bad.
Is that a sentence?
No, we're going to do that again. This is actually not my words.
I understand.
This is a screenshot that's
Okay.
fucking me up right now. So
Say the words.
I will do better next time. I'm going to reword this a little bit. So, what was the most effective thing that someone did to get their ex back?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So, first one on the list, self-improvement. That one that I said was so boring earlier.
Revenge body.
Yeah, that's a thing, I suppose. Next one was the time apart thing. So, kind of just instilling like, hey, take some time, blah blah blah.
Right.
The next one is no contact. So that definitely goes against homeboy. Yeah, he's wrong. And then the other ones are really insignificant, so it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yes. Well, no. There is one that I liked here actually. Therapy and relationship coaching.
Yeah.
Is the least helpful when it comes to getting back with an ex.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Of course, this is on this survey.
You know what? Honestly, that makes sense because if you're going to therapy, that means you're willing to explore what is and isn't healthy. And it's probably showing that your relationship sucks and you're better off without each other. So that makes sense to me. I mean,
yeah. So that was it. I just kind of thought that was, supportive of, what you were saying. Put some parameters around it.
Yeah. Well, another question that I was asking myself here is, can too much time pass? Like it's been years and you meet again. Did you miss your window of opportunity? Do you have to go back and work on the issues from years before you give it another go? I don't really know. It was kind of just on my mind because I was reading this book this week that was like all about getting back together with an ex from 12 years before and like all the shit that went down that you find out. And I don't know. In my opinion, in this book, they needed therapy. And it worked out because it's a book. It's a Hallmark movie. They are having it all. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that too much time can pass?
No, I don't think so. I mean, your classic, like, I got back with my high school sweetheart,
Right.
That's so common.
You're Steve and DJ.
Right. Yeah. Steve, of course. Yes, yeah. All of the things. Yeah. I don't think there really is an expiration date. I mean, well, there is actually. It's when you die.
When you die, yeah.
But so yes, there can be too much time that passes. End of story.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that.
We do.
No, I said I don't. You do.
Yeah. Okay.
I have mixed feelings. I'm not sure, but anyway.
So what would be too much time in
See, that's the thing. I don't know. It just depends. It depends on why you broke up in the first place, If it was something dumb, you were just kids, you meet later in life, like that's one thing, but if he cheated on you 10 years ago, you're not going to forget about it just because 10 years have passed. It's still going to be there. You still got to deal with it, That's what I'm saying. I don't know if the time that's passed matters. I think it's more, it all comes back to why you broke up in the first place,
Yeah, I guess.
There's a reason for everything.
I was just curious, like, why it was so difficult for you to answer that question.
It's because I'm stupid.
All right, then.
All right, so despite all of my skepticism, despite the time passed, despite everything I've told you not to do, you're getting back together with your ex anyway, so what are the rules of getting back together? And again, we are consulting our trusty internet because I don't know. Number 1, take it slow. I know that you're lonely and horny, but you can't assume you can jump back into things. Wow. Yeah, I know how to read. You can't assume you can jump back into how things were before. You gotta date them again because you need to figure out if this is really something you want before you get too entangled again. So you can't, it's probably very tempting, especially when you've already been with someone, to try to just be what you were before it all broke down, Especially with the whole sex thing, because sex makes things very, very complicated. You gotta you gotta ease back in. You gotta act like you didn't date before. You gotta woo them again. You gotta be wooed again. The next one goes hand in hand in that. Make a point of getting to know them again. Time may have passed and they or you may have changed. Again, that's the whole dating them, you know, like do the beginning part again, because the beginning part is the fun part also. You know, don't just jump back into sitting on the couch ignoring each other again.
Again, it's DJ, their first date.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next. Be honest about what happened while you were apart. I am calling this the Ross and Rachel of it all, right? Like, if you hooked up or dated someone else while you were broken up or you were on a break, you gotta be honest about it, because the truth will come out and you will have an hours-long fight while your friends eat organic wax in the next room.
That sounds like a party.
All right. Be honest with yourself as to why you want to get back together. Like, don't just do it because the last guy you dated was bad in bed and you missed the sex. That's not a good enough reason. If all you want is an orgasm, there's better ways to find that than getting back together with your ex. You know, just be honest. Listen to your gut, because if it's giving you a bad feeling, you are probably right to break up in the first place. Be ready to forgive, which is not an easy thing to do. I'm not especially for me, I do not forgive easily. You can't get back in it with someone if you're not willing to forgive whatever they did that made you break up in the first place. And if you can't forgive them, you need to stay broken up, because it's not fair to them. If they're trying, you know, if they're making up for whatever it is. That person does not like that one. And finally, you got to remember that whoever this person is, they're still the same person, so you're gonna have to be willing to accept their shortcomings, and they have to accept yours if you're gonna make it work.
100.
100.
What is 100?
100.
Is that what it's been this whole time?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
I've given away so much money.
Like, I think, like, in the grand scheme of things, the only people who can decide if they're gonna get back together are the two people who broke up in the first place. I'm kind of a negative Nancy, and I'm really, like, anti getting back together with your ex. I don't know. I think you broke up, you gave it a shot, it didn't work, and it's time to move on. That's just where I am with it. I don't know. It could work out. I mean,
Well, if it goes beyond 3, like I said earlier, give me a call.
all I want to say is, you know, the whole getting back together with your ex thing, a lot of you might be thinking it right now because Ben and Jen just got married. But just remember, just because she has a $2 million engagement ring and 3 Ralph Lauren wedding gowns, you probably won't. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about getting back together with Chad, okay, ladies?
Yeah, so I guess my closing for this topic, I mean, I've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the whole back and forth. It was in a lot more of a tricky relationship, and there were reasons why we weren't really together, because there was a husband, I think, but...
Oh, God. Oh, right.
So, yeah, that was a little bit tricky, but the point is that if there's a husband involved or not, if you're going back and forth like this, there's a lot more going on there, and... it's not healthy for either one of you to try to balance this out when you've done the whole like back and forth thing so many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just.
I think we're pretty solidly team don't get back together with your ex, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I think that's. I'm gonna call that our official opinion on it. You know.
You know what I think we should do?
What do you think we should do?
I think instead of what we found earlier, which is those that, you know, the what did I call them? The relationship fixer upper specializer thingy-majammers, those guys?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I think we should have the opposite. Like,
okay.
Like, I know they've tried to make apps that do this, like
we're gonna break you up.
Don't reach out to your ex after you break up or something like that. But no. Even beyond the breakup, like you just need like somebody to just punch you in the face every time you want to even think about your ex, right? That's what you need. You just need like, let's get The Rock just to stand there, or Mike Tyson. There you go.
Right.
Yes. Well, the Mike Tyson relationship hour. I'll knock you the fuck out if you talk about her. You'll wake up in next month. She'll move on by then. On Thick Ice is created, hosted, and produced by Emily and John Shacklet.
To join the conversation, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at OnThickIcePod, email us at onthickIcepod@gmail.com, or call our hotline 415-494-7275. Subscribe to On Thick Ice wherever you get your podcasts.